Welcome to part 14 of the question video. Okay. Alright, Wario Land Gold Pyramid, hello, asks, do you still believe in Santa Claus, the Tooth Fairy, and the Easter Bunny? No, not really. I mean, maybe the concept of it or the theory of it sounds nice, but, well, you know, at a pretty young age, you realize these things are just made up. And a lot of stuff that people take seriously is really just made up anyway. But, it's alright. Miss Allie, 45, asks, what's your favorite sim that you've ever played and why? Well, I don't really pick favorites between my Sims because they're almost like my children, and you really can't pick a favorite child, you know. I love them all, you know. I love all the Sims that I've made and I've played, and I feel affection for all of them, and I really honestly can't answer who would be my favorites. Although, I kind of think the one that I relate to the most and admire the most as a person, if he existed, would be the original patriarch of the family, Mike Lincoln. I think that he was just a really cool guy, and out of all the people I created, I think he's the one I'd most want to hang out with if I could, you know? But even that doesn't mean he's my favorite. It just means he's the one that I can connect to the most. I mean, you know, I went back and I looked at the comments for some of my answer videos already, and some people said that I even look like Mike. And maybe I did, on some subconscious level, make Mike look like me. So, you never know. It could be so. Wario Land Gold Pyramid asks, do you know of or use YouTube Download? Yeah, I've heard of it. I've never actually used it. I've used different programs to download YouTube videos. There's a program out there called Any Video Converter. It's a free program. It has it has a paid version which has more features, but I use the free version, and I've downloaded many videos that way. Sometimes you can even get music through that. You can download videos and turn them into MP3s. But you didn't hear it from me. Alright. The Fast Car Mod asks... Actually, no, Fast Car Mad asks, how to get good home in Sims 2? Huh? I don't know. Mega Shadow 41 asks, what was your favorite television show as a child, and what was your favorite part of being a child? My favorite show when I was a child was Sonic the Hedgehog. It ran from 93 to 94, and it's not Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. There was a completely different show, ran at the same time, but Sonic the Hedgehog, known these days as Sonic Sat AM, because it was on Saturday mornings, was an extremely epic show. Like, for a kid's show, it was very intense, very deep almost, and the show itself was like very stylish, you know, with the atmosphere that it had, and very epic. And I would say, not only did I love that show, but it really set the way I thought in motion at the time. You know, it was a big inspiration to the person I ended up being for at least a good portion of my life. So, episodes of that show have been uploaded to YouTube here and there, so I really recommend everyone to watch that, because I know a lot of you people are a lot younger than me, so you probably were either very young or maybe not even born yet in 93, 94 when the show was on, but it's still good. It's timeless, I think. I mean, yeah, it's might not be as epic to an adult as it is to a child, but it's still worth watching. I highly recommend it. My favorite part of being a child? Well, that's a very hard thing. I mean, maybe sometime in the future I'll spend an entire Sudden Plan episode talking about childhood and, what the experience of being a child is like and all that kind of stuff, but it seemed like when I was a child, my imagination was boundless. I could think of anything. Any amazing thing. I could get. Bleh, I'm getting tired, but I could get excited about anything. It was a beautiful thing, really. But it's something you lose over time, I think. The everything is very exciting aspect of things, and when I was a kid, I could have something bad happen. I could be bawling my eyes out, but as soon as I went to bed and I woke up the next day, it was a clean slate. No problems followed me into the next day. At the same time, I noticed my mom, if she had a really bad day or whatever, it would follow her into the next day. Her bad mood would continue. And as a child, I thought to myself, will I become that way when I get older? Is that just part of being an adult? Needless to say, it is. Because, to be completely honest, these days, I wake up feeling exactly the same as I did the night before. It's like one endless day, is what adulthood is. Because your problems follow you from day to day. When you're 10, your problems are like pebbles on your shoulder, and they go away every day. By the time you're 15, you have rocks on your shoulder. Big rocks. And they don't go away. By the time you're 20, you're already carrying like probably a big boulder on your shoulder. But by the time you get to be like 25 or older, you're carrying a mountain on your shoulder of stress and problems and just crap and baggage that just follows you around every day. And every morning you wake up, you put it right back on, and it never goes away. You can try chipping away at that mountain, but you're never going to get rid of it. So that's just what being an adult is like, I guess. So the converse of that, not having that, I guess was my favorite part of being a child. The fact that every day could be a reset for you, Let's see. Wario Land Gold Pyramid is being silly again. When will you stream again? I will probably be streaming again within the next few days, because in my last Minecraft stream, I quit midway through exploring a cave. And I really can't do anything until I leave the cave, obviously. But I also want to show that. So I want to show myself leaving the cave on stream, because it was a very epic cave. Pretty much a gigantic hole, straight down, nearly, that goes right to the bottom of the world, and huge tunnels, all within the, the range of, minerals, rare minerals. So, definitely want to show that, and I definitely want to get my Minecraft world going some more. Who was born first, Lucy or Amanda? I remember I posed that question to the audience in a Sims 2 episode, but yes, Lucy was the first twin to emerge. Amanda emerged slightly after. Fun fact, Lucy was the name I had picked out for a girl. I had another name picked out for a boy that I long since had forgotten, but Lucy, I had her name picked out, but since it was twins, and they were both girls, it didn't even occur to me to think of another name, because I thought twins would be very unlikely. So, Amanda was a spur-of-the-moment name that I picked out of the air, and I'm very glad I picked Amanda, because Amanda is a person you would expect to have the name Amanda, if that makes any sense. You sort of assign personalities to names, and maybe that sort of shaped the way the characters came out, but Lucy is very much a Lucy, and Amanda is very much an Amanda, if that makes any sense whatsoever. What will happen when you press F5? Ha ha. Okay. What is love? What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Boom, 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 etc. Is there life after death? No, not really. This is a mystery that perplexed me for many, many years, but pretty much what happens to you after you die is the same thing that happens to you 5 feet from you. There's no you 5 feet from you, just like there's no you after you die. And don't let that be a scary thought, because are you concerned that that you don't exist 5 feet away from you? But you might be saying, well, yeah, I might not exist 5 feet away from me, but I exist where I am right now. But think about it. 5 feet from you still has the effects of you in some way. Just like after your death, the effects of your life will permeate after you die. You know, things that you do will affect things in the universe. You know, different molecules will be in different places, just like they are right now, 5 feet from you, because of things that you did during your life. So pretty much, what happens to you after you die is the same thing that happens 5 feet from you, right now. You just don't exist over there, but the effects of what is defined as you have interacted with that. Technically, everything in the known universe has interacted with you, or elements that became you, or elements that were once you, sometime in the past or the future. So therefore, you know, while the entity defined as you only exists in a certain time, a certain frame of time, it only exists in a certain space too. So you're dead everywhere in the universe but where you are, essentially. So, you know, it's just one dimension in which you are not occupying coordinates, and that's sometime in the future there will be a stretch of time, an infinite stretch of time, where you don't exist. But also, if you start right next to you and you go infinitely in that direction, you don't exist there either. So if that doesn't bother you, why should life after death bother you? Why should the concept of not existing after your death bother you? You might say, well, because time moves, but really it's only our perception, it's only our biology that moves, you know, that thinks linearly. We're biologically evolved to perceive time that way, just because it makes sense to have your consciousness, so to speak, in sync with the physical reactions that are going on within your body and within your mind, because your mind is a result of those physical reactions and those chemical reactions. And so that's why your perception of time moves at a rate that's consistent with those reactions. But that's really all it is. It's a reaction. And consciousness itself is a steady state. It only seems to differentiate itself because of this biology, because of these reactions that you have, and because you are only what is in your mind, you know. Since you are just yourself, and you are just what you think, with the part of the steady state of consciousness, which really doesn't have a concept of time in and of itself, when that is in you, it has a subjective experience of being you, because that's what your biology is. It's like a beam of light illuminating you.